Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 32nd installment of the Ulusaba SofaSafari. On camera this afternoon, we've got Ranger Tom, Dave on the tracker seat, Davey.
Hi guys, welcome.
And myself, Liam, taking you through. We'd like to say a special welcome to some friends joining us from Australia. Middle of the night there, I believe, around 1 o'clock in the morning. So a great pleasure to have you guys with us. Hopefully we can make it a bit of an enjoyable afternoon worth the wake up. So let's see.
Cool. Let's go. Hit the road.
Popping out of the bush to the left. A beautiful young female.
Got another one over there. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Davey.
More just up on the side of the outcrop there.
Superb, feeding away. So we've got a nice breeding group of elephants this afternoon. Quite a few more up on the road. Let's get into the midst.
Perfect. Awesome, look at that. Yes.
Very small calf up on the top there.
See if we can zoom in there. See that tiny little one up at the top.
Lots of activity. Just try and get ourselves into a good viewing position without creating too much disturbance. Family group. Again, summer in full swing for us here in the Sabi Sands. So very much the good times for elephants. Obviously completely vegetarian. The simple fact that there's so much food and water available means very, very happy pachyderms. Quite a thick patch of bush that this herd is actually passing through at the moment, so it might be a little challenging to keep up with them, but we will certainly see what we can do. Yes, yeah. Good plan, Debbie. So very much a family group of elephants. No large adult males are permanently based in this group. It's a structure completely guided and based around big adult experienced females. The term matriarch is particularly suitable for Ellies. Family will be led, guided, looked after, mentored, by a female probably in her sort of 40s to maybe even late 50s. We've heard the expression, an elephant never forgets. The success or the failure of her family is very much based on her ability to remember things about the bush. The locations of special fruiting trees, safe grazing grounds, a place of water in hard times. A whole little kindergarten of calves in front of us.
Oh. And a big female crossing in front of Dave there.
Cutting us off a bit. It's all right. That youngster on the far right making some very peculiar sounds there. Exploring his trunk. A lot of these youngsters seem to be a fairly similar age, possibly 6 months to about a year, indicative of a bit of a baby boom the last times were good. A very large cow in the back. It wouldn't surprise me if she's the leader of this little posse. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, that's the female, just kind of in the center now. You can see there's a younger one with her, but you can see the largest of the three, one Liam's referring to. And just to answer a quick question there, this is the Sabi Sands, and not entirely incorrect saying it's the Kruger. It is known as the Greater Kruger, so our boundaries are completely open to the Kruger National Park. And these Ellies very well could come and go as they please, which of course is the beauty of the Sabi Sands and the private reserves.
Now, as Tom was saying, elephants need vast areas of space in which to roam between feeding grounds at different times of the year. For me personally, there's got to be nothing more tragic than viewing an elephant in captivity. When you think that an elephant could walk possibly the equivalent distance of twice around the world in its life, an elephant limited to a little concrete cell is a very, very sad thing indeed. All the more reason to come out here and view them with us. Try and pop in there, Dave. We tread a bit of a fine line with elephants. Obviously wonderful to get close-up views, but we've got to be exceptionally respectful of them. They're very, very large, powerful animals. And with mothers being some of the finest mothers on the planet, very protective of their youngsters, we certainly don't want to overstep the mark.
A very appropriate question maybe for you, Liam. We were chatting about it a few minutes ago. Have you ever witnessed an elephant birth?
A very good question. I've unfortunately missed it by minutes on 3 separate occasions. Once actually, funnily enough, with Tom at a reserve a couple of years ago. It's just an electric time to be with an elephant family. With the knowledge that the youngsters are so valued and so cared for, the arrival is met with extreme excitement, so much emotion. And incredible to think that you're witnessing the arrival of that little calf today. It could be the first chapter of a story that plays out over the next 60, 65 years. Yeah, just incredible. So unfortunately, I haven't actually seen the birth, but you never know. Maybe one day.
Close enough though.
Close enough.
Yeah. I remember we saw the other one the other day.
Yeah,
We had a group of elephants making noise.
lots of
And
screaming.
Yeah, lots of screaming, and then we were like on the lion hunt, lion tracking. So, and then Liam says, no, let's just go into the bush there and see what's those elephants,
What's going on?
what's going on those elephants. And then when we went there, found a tiny baby in the blood of pool circling around there. And then
Slipping and falling.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So
Yeah.
the first step, with the first step,
Literally on
Yeah.
shaky legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible.
it was nice. It was one of my best day.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
that's incredible.
Speaking of births, this female off on the right here is enormously pregnant. You can see her very, very swollen belly there. An immense gestation period, 22 months, for the longest of any mammal to walk on Earth. Yeah.
Maybe let's, sorry Liam, just to interrupt you, I
Not
see
at
maybe
all.
these ones are going to push out towards that junction there.
Okay, yeah, let's get
See if we can get them. We're just staring right into the sun.
into the sun there.
Look at the tiny one coming out on the road.
Popping up.
Look at that.
Dave said. Oh, cheeky. Yeah, and face this way. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe we'll get them coming out here.
So that light is a little bit softer now. Yeah. A huge number of ellies in this group this afternoon, potentially even in excess of 30. Not necessarily an immediate family of 30. The little natal groups, one sort of very big adult female and her adult daughters and their sort of selection of kids. Usually about 8 to 10 in this area. But again, when times are particularly good, extended families almost meet. Bit of a family reunion. And again, linking back to their memory, there's lots of evidence to suggest that even years down the line they'll meet up with other elephants that they recognize, have a bit of a greeting and socialize. Dave is quite safe, no need to worry at all. That cow just checking to see if he brushed his teeth today.
And you can see body language completely relaxed. So that's one of the greatest things, obviously, as we've said time and time again, spending time with these animals undisturbed, just going about their business. You can see that big pregnant belly on that female.
A couple of pregnant bellies in this group.
Yeah.
We might just reposition slightly there, with the sun behind us again. Very cheeky youngster
Yeah.
crossing the road
Oops.
there.
Look at that.
Looks like I'm in trouble.
Look at that. Very cheeky little ones. Usually the case.
A heavy dose of short man syndrome.
Yeah.
And just constantly eating, fueling that metabolism. They reckon up to 18 hours a day for a family of elephants to actually be collecting food. Vast amounts of food. Vegetation is very low in nutrients, so it just has to be consumed on an enormous scale in order to sustain enormous elephant bodies. They can be quite destructive in the pursuit of fresh food, often pushing over trees, digging up the roots and whatnot. It's earned them in some areas potentially a bit of a bad reputation, but certainly in this environment it's all part of the system. If you think the vegetation in a gigantic tree is all suspended in the canopy, a massive powerful elephant pushes it to the ground. That foliage, I mean the tree is now unfortunately dead, but that foliage is now accessible to a whole range of other herbivores, plant eaters, that can now finally reach it. And as that vegetable matter, the leaves, the bark, the wood, starts to decompose, it all enters the cycle again. So it might be seen as taking away from the environment, but in many ways it's just putting it back. Everything in moderation, though.
Almost the debt collectors of the nutrient cycle.
Debt collectors of the nutrient
That
cycle.
tree that's been taking from this environment its entire life, it has to be repaid.
Yeah, exactly. Surprisingly quite graceful as they place their feet. I think a lot of people are expecting them to be quite clumsy, thundering through the bush, but they're actually quite elegant and quiet.
Quite quiet.
In a few more minutes, we will be signing over to the second vehicle out on SofaSafari today, driven by Ryan with Brandon on camera and Tracker Orange on the front seat. We'd just like to remind you guys to refresh your feed when we do say cheers to you, just so that you can tune in as seamlessly as possible, not to miss out on kind of the next chapter of this afternoon drive.
Yeah, and it should be worth crossing over. That's obviously we might be crossing a little bit prematurely, but we're hoping that they've got something quite decent for you from what we've heard. So we'll see. But we'll sit these little ones for a couple minutes, as Liam has said.
Very inquisitive young ones. Being highly intelligent, much like young humans, they learn by coming closer, investigating, experiencing for themselves. We feel even more pressure dealing with young elephants to represent ourselves quite nicely. At least I feel that way. Again, with the image that an elephant never forgets, you certainly wouldn't want to leave it with a bad taste in its mouth.
Seems he's quite fond of you, Dave.
Yeah,
Making friends.
yeah, a baby friend.
A baby friend. Or maybe he doesn't feel quite the same way anymore.
Nah. He's coming to check who's the baby, yeah.
The ever-present fork-tailed drongo, that little black bird in the background that you may have picked up in the corner of the screen there. Not an oxpecker that many of you may know. It's not likely to land on the elephant's body. It doesn't feed on their parasites. But it's almost constantly with this herd. As they move through the vegetation, their big bodies inevitably stir up grasshoppers and other insects hiding in the bush. And he can make a meal. Right. Hey chap, you ready for us? Copy that. Thank you very much. All right. Well, thanks again very much, ladies and gents, for tuning in for our little chapter of the SofaSafari this afternoon. We're going to be signing over to the second team with hopefully a little bit more excitement in store. With the news that travel restrictions in South Africa have opened up very recently, we really hope that that a lot of you could possibly be out here in person with us very, very soon. So yeah, from David, myself and cameraman Tom, we'd like to say thanks very much, and yeah, maybe we'll see you